Hey, welcome everybody. You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. My name's Kepley, and today is February 16th, 2017. In today's video, I'm just going to give you some market updates and kind of explain what I'm doing right now when it comes to playing stocks. Okay? So stick around, and I'll see you here in the next portion of this video. Hey, what's up YouTube? Okay, so for today's video, I told you I was going to cover some of the market updates on events that took place over this week. So, starting off, the Federal Reserve came out, Janet Yellen, in all her bright wisdom, she basically told Congress, okay, in her testimony over the last 2 days, that the economy is weak, alright? That the economy really hasn't ever recovered. We've been told for the last 8 years that the economy was strong and it was recovered thanks to Obama's nation, you know what I mean? And come to find out, as of yesterday, Janet Yellen, they pressed her hard enough. She basically had to admit to the truth, which I find very, very funny. Because they sit there and they walk around in Washington like they know what the fuck they're doing, and they don't have a freaking clue. And, I mean, that just shows you right there. She had to admit to Congress that the economy and the underlying fundamentals of the economy are weak. Now, you might take a look at the stock market, though, and you might wonder why it keeps going up and up and up, you know, and going parabolic. Okay, well, you know, meantime, how can you have an underlying economy whose fundamentals are weak, but yet we're hitting all-time new highs in the Dow Jones? How is that possible? I mean, have you thought about that? Have you asked yourself that question? And I can answer that for you, because I thought about it last night. I was like, why is it that the stock market keeps going up and up and up, but yet you have the president or the chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank just admitting in testimony to Congress this week that our economy is weak, that it never really recovered. So why is that? Well, when you have interest rates at damn near zero for almost a full decade, okay, number one, they left them too low for too long. And because of that, they cannot raise interest rates now. I mean, they tried, once last year, and they kept telling us, well, we're going to raise interest rates like 4 or 5 times this year. And what would we get? One interest rate hike? Alright, and what did they say this year? We got another 4 or 5 interest rate hikes planned for the year, and so far, we've gotten nothing. They can't raise interest rates. So I'm pretty cautious right now of the markets. You know, somebody who's got a 401k, and here's the problem. This is called normalcy bias. It's called the normalcy bias. This happened to Jewish people during the Holocaust, or right before the Holocaust. There was a lot of people who had the normalcy bias. Okay, before Hitler got in power, or right as he was getting his power, a lot of the wealthy Jewish people didn't want to leave. They didn't want to leave. They didn't think anything could happen to them. Okay, until it was too late, and they just sat there and they stuck around. That's called a normalcy bias. You don't want to be somebody who's a victim. Okay, so yeah, right now, for myself, I'm being very cautious because I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to be a victim of what these central banks are doing. Okay, and the reason why I brought up normalcy bias is because you get a lot of people, like employees or people who are in corporate America. You get a lot of people who are invested in 401ks. Okay, and they have this normalcy bias, thinking that because their 401k keeps going up and up and up in value, because the stock market's going up, that good days are here, and they're going to have all this wealth. Okay, that's normalcy bias, especially especially right now. Because if you look at the underlying fundamentals of the economy, they're weak. And you've got this stock market that's just going parabolic. There's something wrong there. There's something very wrong. And you do not want to have that normalcy bias, and just be invested in a 401k right now, because I can tell you, when this thing goes, when this stock market comes back down and corrects, these people are going to get their flipping faces ripped off. I'm talking they're going to lose 40, 50% of their wealth. And if you don't believe me, it's already happened. It's already happened a few times in history. Go back and look at 2008. Look how many people lost, 40, 50% of their wealth in their portfolios. So it has happened. You can't sit here and tell me it's not going to happen again, because it will. And those people right now who are just invested in 401ks and simply are, have this normalcy bias going, they're set up for massive failure, especially when it comes to the stock market. So what do? If you're somebody who's been following me for a little bit, you probably already know what to do. But if you're somebody who's just seeing this for the very first time, you're probably asking yourself, just listening to the way I'm talking right now, you're probably listening and saying, well, what options do you have? Well, I'm going to tell you, become your own central bank. Start shorting this market, because this stock market is coming down. It's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. When is it coming down? Now, nobody really knows that for sure, but they know it's coming down. So what can you do? Invest in real wealth. Hard assets. Start getting into hard assets, guys. All right, I've already positioned myself to make profits when this market starts coming down. Okay, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, just subscribe to my channel. Go check out some of my playlists on precious metals. Okay, or strategies that are used by some of the wealthiest billionaire investors out there, like John Templeton. So go ahead and subscribe and check out some of those playlists that I have and some of those videos out there, because I cover all of that, and I tell you things that you can do and strategies that you can use to set yourself up to profit from the next stock market crash. Okay, so you have Janet Yellen out there testifying again to Congress, saying that the economy's weak. You also had Michael Flynn, who just resigned, from the National Security Advisor position with Trump. So there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of uncertainties, and I believe moving forward that the markets are going to get rattled more and more from events like this, and you're going to see the stock market start, becoming really volatile, going up and down. This move parabolic upwards and upwards and upwards just cannot continue. I mean, it can't continue, without a pullback or a correction or something. I mean, can it go higher? Yeah, it could definitely go a lot higher, especially with the Fed just, if they want, let's say they want to push a QE4, or a quantitative easing forward, print a bunch of money, they most certainly can, and they could keep interest rates at zero still where they are. And yeah, you could get a stock market that hits 30,000 on the Dow. These are uncharted territories, though. We've never been here, so I don't think that they'll last too long. That's why I'm saying it's a mathematical certainty that the markets are going to come down, and you can position yourself right now to capitalize on that. And that's exactly what I'm doing. The other thing you can do is start stacking cash. Okay, save cash. You want to be liquid when this thing goes. Especially because you don't know if the markets are going to have a credit freeze. You don't know if the banks are going to freeze up their credit like they did in 2008. We just don't know. If not, you want to be liquid so that you can go in and invest and buy up, the market for pennies on the dollar. This is how people get wealthy. All right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, again, subscribe to my channel. Go watch the video on John Templeton's investing strategy. Okay. Because I show you in there how it works. The only other thing I wanted to cover today, without this video running too long, is, I'm throwing a lot out here that might scare you. Don't get too focused in on it. Don't focus so much on your wealth and building wealth and investing that you forget about the finer things in life. Okay? Because you only get one life to live, guys. And you have to enjoy it. You have to go out and do things that you want to do. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you a little story real quick, and then I'm going to wrap this video up because I'm talking a little too long here. But I've got a really good friend of mine. His best friend, he was the best man at my wedding. Known him for about 5 years. His name's Eric. And his father just passed over the last couple months. And he, in order to get some closure with his dad, he made a few trips out to Florida to go visit him in the hospital. And while he was out there, he came back and I asked him, I said, how'd it go? And he said, well, it went great. I got a lot of closure with him. And I said, well, what did he say? And he said, the message that he sent me basically, or he left me with was, do things that you want to do and do them now. Don't wait. His dad, towards the very end there, was attacking his bucket list. He had a lot of things that he wanted to do on his bucket list, and I believe he achieved all those before he left planet Earth. Okay, so that was really cool. And it left me with a sense of urgency, and just realizing that, wow, life is so precious, and you can't wait. You can't wait on some of these things. So, he did that. He attacked his bucket list. And then what I thought was really interesting was he told his son, right before he passed, he told him, son, build that wealth. Build that wealth and build it now. And what's my whole channel about? It's about investing in stocks and building wealth. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But, there's a lot of truth and a lot of substance to what he was telling his son. And his son's name's Eric, my friend Eric. He's pretty much my best friend. But he told him, go do things that you want to do right now. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Okay? You only get one life to live. So if you want to go start traveling the world, start doing it. Because, the only regret he really had was that he didn't do it sooner. He looked back and he was like, man, Eric, I should have done this a long time ago. I spent 30 years of my life focused on the wrong things. So you have to have a little bit of balance there along the way. When you're preparing for things like what I'm talking about with the stock market, when you're trying to come up with an investing strategy that's going to work, when we're experiencing downturns, when there's a lot of uncertainty in the economy, and this is life, guys. These are things that are going to happen again. But along the way, and while you're going through this kind of thing, just remember that you only get one life to live, and start doing some of the things you want to do right now. Okay, that's all I have for today. You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. My name is Kepley. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Like and share this if you like what you're hearing. And remember, guys, be patient, and income is the outcome, okay? I'll talk to you later.